Well. I guess yesterday was shocking when Savannah Guthrie put out her latest statement regarding her missing mother, Nancy Guthrie. And I wasn't expecting it. I doubt you were expecting it. And what was even more interesting was everybody's analysis of it yesterday and last night. And I'm going to give you my intuitive analysis as well, and maybe pull some cards at the end to see if they confirm what I'm picking up. But what we want to answer here is, what does she mean when she said, we have done our part? Is there a connection between it being almost the 6-month mark, just days away from the 6-month mark, and the time that this video is coming out? Some investigators or ex-FBI agents or ex-policemen are saying they think this might be the fact it's coming out now. It might indicate that the FBI lost an opportunity earlier on, that they should have done this earlier on. And others are suggesting, does this mean now it's a cold case? I have some different thoughts on some of these, and some of them I agree with. So let's get into it. And I'm going to tell you what my psychic, intuitive, spidey sense says about this video.
That you have tried to do things the right way. So I'm asking you, begging you to do the right thing now. Make the right choice. Help us find her. Tell us where to look for her. I truly believe it is never too late to do the right thing. Help us bring this situation to an end. For all of us, no matter where we've been and what we've done, I believe there is always a way home. Please make the right choice.
Video from the night Nancy disappeared showed a masked person outside her home. The FBI is offering a reward for information leading to her recovery or an arrest in the case. Savannah says her family will never stop searching for their mom. To catch.
What does Savannah mean when she says we will never stop searching? I don't think this family has physically searched for her. What I pick up on is not that in her mind she's searching for her, like others have suggested. She is saying, in my opinion, and my psychic, intuitive, spidey sense, and I'm going to show you clips, so don't go anywhere, because I'm going to give you a few of my analysis, and then we're going to watch some of the statements that some of the police have done, and ex-FBI agents and profilers, etc., in the last 24 hours. And then I'm going to talk about that too and pull some cards. So listen, I don't think she's referencing literal physical searches, because that hasn't been done. The FBI, I said at the very beginning, before anybody else, that those notes were real. And I think they've been trying to track down where those notes came from. And they have been searching that way. Okay. Does Savannah know who she's talking to? Yes, I 1,000% believe Savannah knows who she's talking to. She also, I think, at the 6-month mark, is reaching out. And what I noticed, not only is it 6 months, yesterday was the 27th of July when the statement came out. Is Nancy Guthrie's birthday not January 27th? 27? Let me check that. I think I'm right, but I want to verify that. So yes, I'm correct. Yesterday was Nancy's birthday. That to me was more relevant in this decision than the 6-month mark, because I believe Savannah knows who she's talking to. And I believe they feel, she and the FBI, that the person that they're talking to, people, more than one, but specifically the person with the conscience, the person that indicated they had a soul left within them somewhere deep down, who wrote that second letter. That person knows Nancy well enough to know yesterday was her birthday. And I think there was messaging that we all heard, and then there was direct messaging within the messaging meant to be delivered to who I believe Savannah believes is responsible for this, somebody intimately aware that yesterday, the day this statement came out, was the day of the month of Nancy's birthday. Not only that, and the 6-month mark. Why else do I think that statement came out? And Dr. Gary Burcato said it during his live, which I'm going to show you clips again in a minute. And I got this, as soon as he said it, well, perhaps the statement came out because the FBI were analyzing some of us and realized they had a missed opportunity. Bingo. That was my intuitive hit right away. The FBI are watching. They are getting a lot of leads, and there are some incredible details, theories, and possible leads that have come out on YouTube myself that I have watched. And so would it be shocking that some of those leads or videos were forwarded to the FBI, either by the creators themselves or the subscribers, or maybe the FBI is open to listening to people like Chris McDonough, Dr. Gary Burcato, you know, there's multiples, right? Ann Burgess, you know, there's just on and on. Jim Clemente, you know, we could go on. And so perhaps because they are at a dead end, but are they at a dead end? I think this is a case and has been a case of they know who done it by proxy. In other words, no, let me rephrase. They cannot find the people that were hired by proxy, but they know who ordered the work. They know the mastermind, chef, if you will, but because they didn't create the crime, they have a theory they can't connect to evidence. However, should by some chance the kidnapper be following this channel and seeing what my psychic sense has to say, the report that I gave to the FBI, etc., I think they are very onto you. And I think they have somebody else that's ready to turn on you. And I think you might want to be the first to the plate, would be my suggestion. Because I think actually they are zeroing in. I don't think it's a matter of cold. It's a matter of when. Remember when I was doing that remote viewing or that reading on Nancy Guthrie, and all of a sudden I had coming in, for those of you that watched it, where I got this vision of like string, these like thousands pieces of string everywhere. And then it was like, which represents like all the 50,000 leads. And then I see like two ends connecting, and then the whole thing just like spins like a ball into a ball of yarn. That, my friends, is that needle in the haystack, minute little detail of a lead that suddenly lands, or those two leads over here, and this one 6 months ago, and this one that came in 2 weeks ago, suddenly line everything up, and it all effing makes sense. And boom, you got yourself a convicted criminal for murder. So if you're watching, I suggest you do the right thing as Savannah is telling you to. And she is speaking to you directly, note number 2, who we all feel is written by a female close enough to Nancy to know her birthday was the 27th of the month, yesterday, the date Savannah came out, wearing a flower on her t-shirt. Looked like a coronation to me, not a poppy. And interestingly enough, I'm going to get into a little bit too about the card, and let's see if we can get some symbolism on that card. Because I went to sleep last night asking my guides, what's with the cheetah? Like, I get the flowers, but the cheetah and the weird mouth thing. And I get this like vision of like blue neon in the cheetah, like energy. Like there's some sort of energetic meaning to the cheetah that on that card that I want to research. So anyways, my belief is they are getting closer to figuring out how they're going to put this together. And all they need, note number 2, person, female, the person that deep down, you know, you need to do the right thing, because your soul will never be at peace, and karma will relive you and your soul and your future lives, including this life, for eternity. And not only just you and your full family. So the full family of people in this little group, I highly suggest you do the right thing and you get your ASS in to a reporting FBI agent and you work yourself out a deal, because I'm really, really sure now that I hear that statement, they know who you are and you know they know who you are, and it's just a matter of time. Okay, so let's get out a few video clips and then I'm going to pull cards, and I want to see the meaning of the card. I didn't actually ever see the card that Annie put down in front of the house of the memorial when she and Savannah and Cameron, or not Cameron, Freudian slip, Tommaso walked hand in hand down in front of that memorial, tribute, and they had the card in tow. I never actually saw the front of that card until last night, but my guides had something to say about the cheetah, and I want to see what that means too. So let's keep rolling here. Okay, let's get it to the card first, and then we're going to the video clips, because I didn't want to forget this. This is the card. Have you all seen this before? And tell me what you think about this card. Chris McDonough showed it last night on the interview room, so I took a picture of it. And I'm like, what's with this cheetah thing? There, in my opinion, is another, there's flowers around. There's, like a bow on the bottom, a bird on the head. So there's a symbol up there too. So let's see. It's going to surprise you. It actually surprises me on what the symbolism is according to Genesis. The image shows a handwritten greeting card left as a tribute at a public memorial site featured during an investigative true crime broadcast. The specific card was placed by Annie Guthrie at a memorial dedicated to her missing mother, Nancy Guthrie. The visual motifs on this card, paired with its placement at a memorial, carry traditional symbolic meanings associated with grief, remembrance, and familial bond. The leopard/big cat in the context of personal or memorial tributes. A leopard or a jaguar typically symbolizes inner strength, resilient, and fierce protective love. It serves as a personal reflection of the missing individual's character or the enduring protective spirit of a mother. See, I thought, I saw the eyes and all this blue energy. So it was like if it was meant to represent the energy of this person in their life. So she must have been seen by them as fiercely protective of them, loved them, was resilient, and had a lot of inner strength, which very much describes what we all have come to know about Nancy. The bird on the head. The bird is perched peacefully atop an animal, commonly signifies guidance, peace, and communication between worlds. In grief contexts, the birds are often viewed as messengers of hope or symbols of a free soul watching over loved ones. Now, the interesting comment there being a free soul, because in one of my remote viewings, I said I saw one of the kidnappers. I believe it came at this time they were digging her and did that ceremony, if you will, for her. And I heard him, I'd have to go back to my notes, but it was something to the effect of it, like in his head, he thought, well, she had lived a good life. She was 84 and she was in pain every day. Anyways, almost as if it was a mercy killing. So I find this really interesting, where it's like joyful memories that retain a sense of hope, that she is, viewed as free in her soul now, watching over them. And like this, relief that you're free is this energy I'm picking up, which is just weird. But anyway, especially under the circumstances, it's not like she went peacefully in the day of night, like in her sleep and fell asleep and didn't wake up. Like, come on, but anyway, we'll talk about that when we get to the videos. The vibrant flowers, the colorful flowers surrounding the cat, representing the remembrance, love, and the celebrations of life. Using the bright, lively colors instead of traditional somber tones is a deliberate way of the family members honoring, like I said, the joyful memories and retaining that sense of hope. The setting placed along the cut flower stems on the ground, the card acts as a profound physical marker for the family waiting for answers, expressing deep joy and knowing a loved one's memory alive, keeping one's memory alive amidst the investigation. Then why was it removed? Who removed it? And all that. But we talked about that already. So now let's get into the clips. I want to watch a few clips, and I'm going to tell you what my intuitive hits are. Pull a few cards and see if they correspond with my hits. Let's go.
Yeah, these words, we have done our part. We have done our part. That's the words that Savannah Guthrie said in the beginning of her statement today. And I'm telling you that was directed towards the authors of Note 2. That note that was previously, I guess, somewhat debunked by the FBI / news organizations. If you guys remember, obviously they haven't released any of the exact notes, but it's been all over social media. We did not fully grasp the seriousness of her physical conditions. And then, we never intended to hurt her. That was not our intention. She perished shortly after she was taken. We believe it was heart related. Everybody today, I think it was a minute 13 seconds video that Savannah put up today. The world could be a cruel and unforgiving place. I know you have tried to do things the right way. That's directed right towards the author of that note.
And it's kind of bizarre. But hey, Tim, how about we do this? Can we go ahead and play the video right now and then come back to you? Does that sound fair?
Absolutely.
Let's watch the full video.
I'm coming on today with a very specific message. It has been months since our mom was taken from us. Our family is in agony. We are in a nightmare that will not end. Nothing about our situation has changed. We have done our part, and we will never stop looking for her. We will always ache for her and feel that hole in our hearts. The world can be a cruel and unforgiving place, and I know that you have tried to do things the right way. So I'm asking you, begging you to do the right thing now. Make the right choice. Help us find her. Tell us where to look for her. I truly believe it is never too late to do the right thing. Help us bring this situation to an end. For all of us, no matter where we've been and what we've done, I believe there is always a way home. Please make the right choice.
Okay. So that video is quite telling, wouldn't you say? What's your thoughts, Tim?
Again, it's on the 6-month anniversary. It's either obviously, I think she knows a little bit more, obviously, than has been played out in the news media. Probably from the FBI has reached out to her, but it's bizarre that she used those choice words in addressing that today. It's playing on the emotions of the author of that note, asking you, I'm begging you to do the right thing now, make the right choice. Those are all words directed towards the author of that note. I don't know, Maureen, what's your thoughts? Do you think the FBI coached her into some of the terminology used in here?
Yes, I think the BAU worked with her on what she would say or what she was comfortable saying, and it sounds to me that it's along the same lines of Note 2, like you were talking about earlier, where the author of Note 2 was almost trying to soothe Savannah, and it started out with, Dear Savannah, which is just one interesting salutation for someone whose mother you brutalized and ultimately killed. So it's like they're using the same. It's like Savannah is almost mirroring back to the author, who sounds possibly to be a female. It could be AI, as some people are saying, but I think AI would have caught the inconsistencies between in the letters, meaning 7 times it says the word we, and then 1 time it says me, which is interesting. Was that a slip up? You know, are they
Right.
trying to say it's more than one person, but could it be one person? I know my partner from Best Case, Worst Case, Jim Clementi, he thinks it could be one person. He's open to it being more than one person, but he says right now he doesn't think that there is evidence of more than one person. What do you think,
Could
Will?
it be? Well, a couple of things come to mind. Could it be a non-English speaker who wrote that note and tried to get it translated loosely? I don't think so, because there's some pretty eloquent words used in that note, perished and things like that, buried with
Poetic word.
nature, poetic words, right?
Poetic words. So we'll just drop that there because you know who's a poet and you know who's not a poet in this case. But listen, they think Savannah is talking directly to the kidnapper, the female who they believe wrote the second note. I concur. Now, I want to show you a few other clips and give you my intuition on those and then pull some cards. But I just wanted to say that, yes, it's the 6-month anniversary, but I really am leaning on the reason that came out was yesterday being the 27th, the day of the month of Nancy's birthday. Let's get to the next clip. So last night on the interview room, of course, our Gary Mercado, Dr. Gary Mercado, John Lamb, and Chris McDonough, the panel, we're talking about the first note, the first family statement, the second note, the second family statement. But I want you to hear this.
Oh, you didn't pay the $6 million? It doesn't matter. So it's an apology.
Yeah.
It's an apology without a new demand.
It's an apology without a new demand. Okay. Why? Why did that second note need to go out? I said it way back when in a video called Have We Found Motive? And Dan referenced it last night, but keep listening to prove my point.
You want your mother's body?
There
Great.
you go.
It's 10 million.
Right. But,
Who does that?
But people don't incur risk for no reason. There is a risk in sending a second message from the same place, and it had to be the same place. That's why they believe it.
This is guilt.
Well, so I'm saying it's some emotion drove this person to incur risk, either care or fear of getting in trouble.
Or why, as Jim Clementi said, in the second note, there's a lot of doubling down, right? Hey, Savannah, it's addressed to Savannah, rehab your mother, Nancy. As Jim says, it's doubling down. If it's addressed to Savannah, Savannah knows her mother's name. So, hey, Savannah, rehab your mother. Or not even, hey, Savannah, a typical ransom note would be rehab your mother. Why do we need to include Nancy? There's also reference to her physical conditions, plural. We were not aware of the extent of her physical conditions. Well, how did you even know she had physical conditions? There's a knowledge of her conditions, a closeness to the family. But why did that second person put that note out? And that's because of my theory, which actually Big City Dan, I heard him make and mesh into it in the video I just showed you. I just wasn't able to find that specific moment. See if I can find it. But my theory on Do We Have Motive was to make it look like something it wasn't. It wasn't a kidnapping for ransom. It was probably an elimination murder after things went wrong from the original plan, which was debts and money owed. We need to find some cash flow. And so we're going to ask Nancy for money she didn't have. Now we need to get our debts paid off to the person ultimately who took her, because they're not happy and they wanted a repayment. And that something went wrong in that process in the moment of the kidnapping, and that whole plan went. But here's the main gist of the plan. Now, that was my original theory, but I'm kind of moving away from that into thinking that this whole thing was planned as an elimination and maybe not an accident. Because if we keep in line with the theory that somebody had some money that they owed and they needed money, and they wanted to fast forward the process of claiming an estate, so Nancy's estate, to be able to close that estate, you need to declare her deceased, which is normally 5 years in Arizona. But if you have specific conditions and they are met, you can have that ruled by a judge much more quickly. Now, by taking the risk and putting that letter out there, Savannah, rehab your mother. Nancy, nothing you could have done. She died, confirming Nancy Guthrie is dead. One of the elements that would need to go before a judge for a judge to fast forward the 5-year wait period for closing out Nancy's estate. So the people in receivership of her estate money, proceeds from the house, can receive that money faster. Hence, my video did refind Motive. Go check it out. The one following that tells you about these Arizona laws. Why I think that second letter out was exactly that reason. Because now we have a letter from the kidnappers who you saw deliberately on that porch. There's no mistake with the blood and the face mask on that porch that Nancy Guthrie was kidnapped. Now we know Nancy Guthrie was taken because we proved it to you by showing up in front of the camera. Now, element 2, she's not coming back, she's dead, is now coming as evidence through ransom note number 2. You see? So I have been saying that all along, and Big City Dan confirmed that last night. If I can find that clip, I'm going to show you. He has said it more than once, but listen in, because I also told you in one of those videos that I believed that there was a fight going on between the people that took Nancy. I believe there's 4 players, and whether or not to send these notes. Now listen.
Or guilt, one of those emotions. But the fact is, sending a second message from the same place, and it had to be from the same place or they wouldn't have believed they were linked. Sending a message from this was a boneheaded move that probably infuriated the author of the first note.
Yep.
Because the more you send, the more dangerous, unless I'm wrong. The more you're sending, the more dangerous. And I think that would have come across to the first person as a betrayal.
Yep.
Very dangerous. You don't know who's watching. This is the highest profile case in the country right now, arguably. So I think that the emotion was so strong that the person couldn't resist sending that message.
Well, I agree with you. This person,
yes,
this person who wrote the second note is dying from guilt.
Maybe. And that's what Savannah's playing on. However, I think it also served the purpose I just mentioned, to prove a death of Nancy Guthrie, a dead Nancy Guthrie, a deceased, unalived Nancy Guthrie exists, kidnapped, now deceased. We have the evidence for a judge that she's not coming home. Therefore, let's escalate and fast forward this 5-year period so we can close out her estate. That, for my friends, is my theory of why this went down. I said it from the get-go, staged to make it look like something it wasn't. That's why you see the dumbass wearing the porch witch gun. The next video I'm going to put out in a couple days on Nancy Guthrie, I'm going to do more remote views, and we're going to talk about the porch guy, etc. But so that, look out for that in the next couple days, more remote views and another Nolan Wells video, and do all the YouTube things. And thank you all for you being here. Pixie's turned a corner. She's resting, but she's definitely breathing better. So the meds are working. So thank you so much from the bottom of my heart for all of you, for all your prayers and donations. I really could not have done it without you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. Okay, let's keep watching. I want to show you another couple of clips. Then I got to pull cards.
They're looking for her body. Thoughts?
Well, I've been saying for some time now that I don't believe, if these notes are real, if these 2 notes are real, as Savannah believes, you can see very clearly when you lay it out like this what I mean when I say that two completely different psychologies are at work here. The psychology of the person who sent the first note is very pragmatic. It doesn't matter if she's really alive. We're going to say that she is because ultimately we want money. We don't really care if you're upset, if you think you had anything to do with it. The reality is, like, you better get your act together or some terrible thing is going to happen, etc. The attitude of the second author is one of having some kind of intact, or at least a whiff of either sympathy or fear for the self, for getting in trouble,
Yep.
and going out of one's way, probably even incurring a risk to say to Savannah, there's nothing you could have done. At least, she's with nature now. It was her heart. It wasn't you, that kind of thing, right? And I think the fact that a risk was incurred in sending it shows that the author of the second note in some way cares about Savannah, has some feeling for her, whereas the person who wrote the first note doesn't. And I also think the language of the notes is very interesting, because the language of the first note sounds like someone who doesn't speak English necessarily as a first language and might have even used some kind of device, whereas the second is fluid to the point of being poetic, which is also interesting. And I have said all along, I think the first was written by a male who was trying to get away with a crime, and the second was written by a woman who probably pissed off the guy by sending this note because it was risky and it was too unnecessary and things like that. And that is why I said that when these notes were written, an astute observer would have suggested to the family, go on television and make an appeal to the author of the second note, because there's a split going on between that author and the first author.
Yep.
Exploit it and say to that person, I think you're feeling something.
Yes. And I said that way back. I said there's an argument and a debate about whether to send these notes. Another clip now. I'm going to pull some cards next. And that, my friends, is why Savannah went on my opinion yesterday, because the FBI is now recognizing there is a split and a division within this team going on. And they're trying to appeal to the senses of the person that wrote note 2, the female in the team, in the unit, in the clan involved in this crime. And they're trying to appeal to her through Savannah, who they believe Savannah knows intimately.
Exploit it and say to that person, I think you're feeling something. I think you're feeling guilty. Do the right thing. Sounds an awful lot like what was said today, which almost makes me wonder if people have finally gotten the hint that there's a fragmentation between these two characters if these notes are real. And they need that second person to throw that first person under the bus.
Yep.
Yeah.
Get what I'm
John?
saying?
Oh, I agree.
Well, you can.
Yes, I agree.
I
John?
think that the most important phrase in today's statement was, I know you've tried to do the right thing. How would you know that unless you know the person? Because that's a supposition beyond rational thinking. You looked into the camera and said, I know you've tried to do the right thing. And that would tell me that Savannah, again, she is not talking to some unidentified sort of anonymous suspect. She's talking to someone that she feels that she can make an emotional impact on, to reason with. And then the ending of, and then you can come home. What a strange thing to say to someone who has abducted your mother.
And who may be in Italy. Just saying, maybe, maybe not. Okay, let's pull some cards, because I want to know what the cards have to say about two things. We have done our part. What does Savannah mean when she says we have done our part? And what is she talking about we know you tried to do the right thing? Because I'll tell you intuitively, I'm talking about her perhaps believing that there was an actual burial and that they tried to save her and that they were trying not to have her lose her life. But I want to know, let's pull some cards on what does she mean by we did our part? Because TMZ came out today and said, no, we have confirmed with the FBI, they did not send a separate money ransom money met the demands of the kidnappers to try to retrieve Nancy's body. That did not happen. So what does Savannah mean when she says we did our part? There's something there we don't know. And what is she asking that person to look into themselves to recollect when she's referencing, we know you tried to do the right thing? What does that mean? I'm going to get cards and we're going to see what they have to say. Let's go. Okay. What does Savannah mean when she said, we did our part? What does that mean? I don't know. I'll tell you intuitively, I'm thinking of Kaleo, the devil. Redid our part, the devil. We did our part with the devil. We're working out a deal. That's just what I'm getting. I just redid our part. Like in the background, we're doing something. Let's see what else I get. The devil. The devil. Two of Pentacles. Two of Pentacles. Let me just remove the background because I know you guys hate that. I got my grandson here, so I'm in my room, in my bed. Sorry. Two of Pentacles. And the devil. We did our part. Two of Pentacles is giving somebody a choice. It's about balancing the scales out, balancing things out and having a choice. We did our part with the devil. I don't know. I'm just telling you, I'm picking up energetically. There's the reference to, I don't know, something in the background around a deal, but I mean, I could be wrong. Let's get one more and see. We did our part. What the hang does Savannah mean? We did our part. Hope y'all are doing well, by the way. I have really missed the cards. Yes, the backstabbing and the betrayal. There's something around, we did our part with somebody that backstabbed and betrayed you. You have a choice to make. We did something with the devil. So there's something going on here. I don't know, man. Let's get another deck out and see. What does Savannah mean when she says we did our part? Four of Wands, the family. This is security, home. This is home. This is a house. This is a house and security. Somebody needs security to come home. Somebody needs security to come home. I'm telling you, that's what I'm getting. We did our part. Because there's a reference in the Savannah about somebody being able to come back home. Just saying, I'm just telling you, 10 of Pentacles, legacy. Yeah, what is your legacy going to be? What is your future going to be known for? What is your name going to be remembered for? Family, stability, doing the right thing. What is your name going to stand for? Doing the right thing around family, stability. We did our part. Talking specifically to the kidnapper. And I really think that's something to do in the background with some sort of deal or the estate or the house or something. Something. Now, they did the right thing, Savannah says. What do the cards say around, we know you tried to do the right thing? What the dang does that mean? I mean, she's deceased. We know you tried to do the right thing. Let's put these cards back in. We know you tried to do the right thing. I have a table set up for this going forward, but again, I got my grandson over. We know you tried to do the right thing. The world. That's about closing cycles, ending, traveling. They go to Italy. Did the A&T team go to Italy to do something, to try to talk somebody into something? I don't know. What is the right thing? We know you tried to do the right thing. I'm going to pull from the other deck too with the world. We know you tried to do the right thing. What does Savannah mean? What did they do that she feels is the right thing? Eight of Swords. Somebody couldn't sleep, was riddled with guilt, felt like they couldn't get out of the situation, and they wanted to put something to an end. They tried to do the right thing. Couldn't sleep, tried to do something. There's that Four of Wands again with the family. Tried to do the right thing regarding the family, the home. the structure. Somebody has tried to do something regarding their own mindset, feeling trapped and putting an end to this. And it may have included travel abroad and something to do with the family, the home, the family environment. Ace of Cups. Somebody was trying to offer some sort of a loving message. Okay, what is this also more? I want more on this. We know you tried to do the right thing. What is the right thing? We know you tried to do the right thing. What is that? Give me more cards. We know you tried to do the right thing. Oh, and so sorry, by the way, I meant to say. 7 of Swords. Yeah, you tried to do the right thing. I need a clarifier on you tried to do the right thing with the backstabbing and the betrayal. Did she? Strength. You tried to stand up against the backstabbing and the betrayal. You tried to stand up against the backstabbing and the betrayal with your strength. This is a possibility of a new beginning. Do the right thing we're offering you. Okay. So they believe, and I don't know how Savannah believes this, couldn't sleep at night, stressed out, tried to put an end to this cycle for the family's sake by maybe traveling or putting an end to something with the person that was the backstabber or the 7 of Swords, offering something to them. And it took strength for this person to do that. I think it was traveling to Italy. I could be wrong, just allegedly, just my opinion. Also, thank you for being here, everybody. If you watched to the end, I forgot to mention at the beginning, I'm so sorry. We had this emergency with Pixie, had to cancel the members live Sunday night. So I'm going to run it tomorrow night, Wednesday night, 6:30 p.m. Eastern, members live. I will be posting that shortly. Do all the YouTube things. Thank you for being here, everybody. Also, one more Nancy Guthrie video this week, one more Nolan Wells video this week. If you didn't watch that, okay. So I think it was an unaliving. I did not anticipate that. And then the video came out yesterday because I might be wrong about who's involved, or is that background noise going on and not the people in the boat. So I got to get more Nolan Wells stuff out to you, as well as one more Nancy Guthrie video out as well this week. And the members live Wednesday night, 6:30 p.m. to make up for the cancellation of Sunday night. I'm so sorry. Did not anticipate having to rush my kitten to the vet. She needed oxygen. It was not good. So my sincere apologies for that. Thanks again for being here and doing all the YouTube things for everybody that's new. Welcome. Love and light. Consider joining our membership, $2.99 a month Canadian. We're starting tonight or tomorrow night. I'll be doing 2 lives a month. And there's like, I said 40. There's almost like 60, 70 videos in members only. So see you in there if you want. And if not, we'll see you in the next videos. Ciao, everybody.